Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm gonna do part 16 to my Google Gemini chatbot series. Where in today's video guys, we're gonna try one more time with a different chatbot. The last one did work out pretty well. However, we had a problem where it kept most of the conversation was literally it repeating that what I said, which was so dumb. So I tried to counterbalance that. This time I did the fountain of growth like we were trying to on ChatGPT earlier, but this time I told it to not tell in a third person. Hopefully that'll keep it from repeating everything I say to me over and over and over again. And hopefully we can have a good run like we did with the angry vengeful for alligator and the transforming toad at one point. Hopefully. So yeah, let's hope so. Here's what it's called: The Legend of the Fountain of Growth. Holy cow. Over 100 years ago, nestled deep within an ancient forest, lay the magnificent Cascadia Azul, the blue waterfall. It was a sight of breathtaking splendor, its waters plummeting over a sheer cliff face into a shimmering pool below. For the humans of the world, it was a premier tourist attraction. They would fly in from every continent, drawn by its thundering roar and the vibrant rainbows that perpetually danced in its spray. But it was not just humans who adored the Cascadia Azul. The local wildlife, the nervous deer, the chattering squirrels, the clever raccoons, and the flitting birds would all come to drink from its pure waters and admire its glory. Life around the waterfall was a peaceful harmony of nature and human admiration, a balance that had endured for centuries. The night the waters spoke. What the frick? Why did they call it that? Then, one stormy night, the balance broke. The air was heavy with static, and the pounding rain turned the forest floor to mud. Hours into the tempest, a bolt of lightning ripped the sky, striking the earth a few yards beside the waterfall. But this was no ordinary lightning. Instead of searing blue-white electricity, this bolt was composed of a brilliant, highly charged liquid energy, pure water imbued with an unknown potent force. The earth shuddered, and a faint ozone-like scent mixed with the smell of rain. Moments later, a second, mightier bolt of the same water energy struck the waterfall itself, momentarily turning the entire cascade into a vertical sheet of glittering, aquamarine light. Instantly, the storm ceased. The rain stopped, the wind died, and a profound silence fell over the forest. For the rest of the night, a mesmerizing, faintly glowing electrified dust, like stardust soaked in rain, gathered and swirled over the ground where the first bolt had hit. By the first light of dawn, the forest floor looked as if a celestial jeweler had been at work. In the spot of the first strike, a small yet profound fountain had appeared. It was not built of stone, but seemed to have simply risen from the earth, its surface glowing with a soft, eternal gold. The water that bubbled from its basin was the same crystal clear flow that fed the great Cascadia Azul. Adjacent to the fountain, the ground was slightly scorched, and in that burn mark stood a simple, sturdy wooden sign. In bold, confident lettering, the sign read, Fountain of Growth. What I like about this is look what it did. It actually put like a little sign thing on it right there, which is actually really neat. I like that it did that. It says any animal that gets in this fountain can grow as big as they desire and can be given the power to speak English. However, please follow these rules. 1. Before you step into the fountain, close your eyes and visualize how big you want to become. Open your eyes and get into the fountain. The fountain will understand your heart as soon as you step into it, telling you every good and bad thing you have done. The fountain will then ask you if you swear to use the powers for good, only attacking something if absolutely necessary, like protecting someone. Be honest with the fountain. If you're not, the fountain will do the opposite and make you so tiny that you will be smaller than a flippin' atom. I love how that's even physically possible. It says, after the growth is complete, the fountain will ask you again if you promise to be nice and never hurt anyone with this power. At the very bottom, in smaller, almost whispering layers, was an addendum, or addendum. Fountain will not work on humans, only animals. Holy crap. The Dawn of the Giants. That's a cool sounding title, actually. Over the next century, the Fountain of Growth became more than a tourist curiosity. It became a whispered legend among both humans and animals. The very first to approach it was a diminutive blue jay. He was tired of having to flee from hawks and having his nest disturbed. He wished for the strength to protect his fledglingly family. Following the instructions, he closed his eyes and visualized himself not just as a bird, but as a soaring sentinel over 30 feet tall. He stepped into the golden water, his heart laid bare, and when the fountain asked him to swear to goodness, his tiny voice was firm and honest. The water surged around him, and in a silent, explosive moment of pure magic, he emerged a colossal sentinel of blue feathers and mighty wings. He thanked the fountain, swore his oath again, and flew off. The first of the giants, committed to protection. Word spread through the animal kingdom like wildfire. The legend lured creatures of all stripes, some noble, some driven by fear, and others by pure arrogant ambition. Many animals stepped into the fount water with deceit in their hearts, dreaming of power they planned to misuse. In an instant they would vanish, shrunken to less than a single molecule, lost to the sight and sound of the world forever. But the majority, like the faithful blue jay, were honest. The raccoons grew into hulking, masked protectors. The bears became walking forested mountains of muscle. I'm surprised the bears would want to do that. You think the bears would be one that would definitely deceive somebody. And the deer became graceful, enormous titans. They used their incredible size to aid one another, clear trails, and even help with human emergencies. Their powers bound by the sacred, century-old promise to the fountain. The world had quietly, magically been repopulated with a race of gentle, colossal, speaking beasts. Oh my gosh. A new world discovered. Yep, here's a friend where he sees me. You, meanwhile, had known none of this. You were just relaxing inside your home, enjoying the quiet of a normal day. Feeling the need for a change of air, you decided to stretch your legs and walk outside. The moment you stepped out, the sheer scale of the change hit you. It wasn't just big. The world had been fundamentally redimensioned. That was a cool name. A vibrant, impossibly large hummingbird, its feathers catching the sun like metallic scales, passed over your head with the whir of a helicopter. It had to be over 40 feet tall, its long, sharp beak glinting as it zipped past. Massive squirrels, each the size of a small car, darted up ancient trees, their bushy tails swishing high above the power lines. Across the street, two immense red foxes, usually the size of delivery trucks, were engaged in a playful, silent chase, their paws thudding lightly on the... I'm not saying that word, it's too close to a bad word. I'll just say the pavement. You stood there, head craned back, eyes wide, completely overwhelmed by the silent, colossal margarine that had replaced the familiar, smaller world. Then, nearby, a magnificent deer turned its head. It was a stag of impossible beauty, its colossal antlers spanning a width that could easily bridge a small river. Its fur was the color of moss and earth, and its head alone was larger than a compact car. Judging by its height, its shoulder was a staggering 70 feet off the ground. The giant deer saw you, its massive gentle eyes fixated on your small human figure, and then it began to walk over to you. Oh, Christ, it's about to... I know they're supposed to be good, but again, ay, 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 give me a moment. Okay, the response it's giving us isn't very long, guys, but at least it's actually not speaking or it's repeating back what I say over and over again. It just says, seeing the massive deer walking toward me, I get really worried and back up a bit, saying, whoa, 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 please don't attack me. I beg of you. I wish I sounded more. It doesn't matter. The enormous stag stopped its deliberate, ground-shaking approach a few feet from you, its colossal head dipping slightly, the massive set of antlers cutting through the air above, its gentle, brown eyes, each one the size of a dinner plate, studied your trembling figure with an expression that was calm, yet curious. Worry not, little human. A deep, yep, so the voice I gave him wasn't that far off. Smooth voice rumbled, the sound vibrating through the air like the low thrum of a double bass. I'm not here to hurt you. My name is Ariv. I am under oath to the Fountain of Growth. I will not attack unless it is to protect, and you, clearly, are no threat. Ivor lowers his head a bit more, his nose, large enough to nudge a bus, and coming slightly closer. It has been many decades since a human has appeared so surprised by our new scale. The world changed a century ago. You must have been living quite far off, or perhaps indoors, to miss the sight of us. He tilted his head. You look frightened. Are you injured? Why are you retreating from a conversation? I don't know why he said it like that. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. Here's what happened. I'm. Let's see. It says, I'm not trying to. I was just worried you were going to hurt me. I didn't expect to walk outside and see giant animals everywhere. You're really not going to hurt me? Ariv? I don't know how you say that name. One of the things it's been saying has been kind of hard to pronounce. It is a natural and understandable reaction, little one. Yeah, I'm not going to try repeating that name. His voice a steady, comforting murmur that nonetheless shook the pavement slightly. He held perfectly still, ensuring his immense size didn't feel any more imposing than necessary. We were all once small, and the scale of this change can be jarring, even for us. He tilted his great head in a gesture of empathy. I promise you, I will not harm you. As I said, I swore an oath. My powers for protection, not aggression, is true for nearly every animal you see who has chosen to grow. That's the one I only want that fountain, but holy cow. It says a century of change. It better not forgive me a whole bunch of lists and repeat everything. Let's see. Ariv then offered a concise summary, his large eyes never leaving yours. The world has been this way for a century. The magic that caused this, the Fountain of Growth, was born from a water lightning strike near the Great Waterfall. It offers any creature the chance to grow as large as they wish and gain the ability to speak, but only if they promise to use the power solely for good and protection. Many tried to use it with cruel intent and failed, becoming smaller than dust. Just the way he worded it. Oh my gosh. He sighed, a breath that felt like a warm gust of wind. The giants you see, the birds, the squirrels, the foxes, are all bound by that promise. They are the guardians of the balance. We know humans worry, but we also know the importance of keeping our word. We keep to ourselves as much as possible, only intervene when absolutely needed. You are safe here, William. Now, tell me. Alright, his gaze softening. What is your name? And what were you hoping to do when you stepped outside your house today? I like how he just casually goes back to flipping being like, yeah, I'm a giant deer. What do you think of that, motherfucker? So what the frick were you doing here? Or whatever. Uh, guys, it will probably be a few minutes before you see something else. Um, I'll see you in a minute. Alright, guys, let's just say beforehand, it was a good thing I didn't try recording the flipping storm mode, because it would have been caught in some bad stuff. Let's just say it that way. So, yeah, I'm gonna move on. We're gonna continue. I just answered the deer's questions and then said, I was just coming out here to get some fresh air. It's nice to meet you, R River. I don't know how you say his name, actually. It's hard to pronounce. Ah, Trenton, R repeated, carefully testing the sound of your name. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. I'm glad you chose to seek fresh air today, though I apologize for the initial shock of our presence. He took another soft, deliberate step back, his massive form creating a little more distance to help you feel comfortable. Fresh air is certainly important, Arya said, but the world you have stepped into is one where the very nature of life has been altered. I imagine the sight is overwhelming. Perhaps I can help ease your mind by explaining things further, or even guide you away from the. What is busier in the world? This is all busier. I think I'm becoming stupider. I can't read, apparently. Or even guide you away from the busier areas if you prefer. What would you like to do now? Let's see, his voice steady and calm. Would you like to ask me more about the Fountain of Growth, or would you prefer to simply continue your walk with a massive deer as your chaperone? Continue to walk with a massive deer as your chaperone. That's a funny line in general. Oh my gosh, give me a moment. Alright guys, when I did this one it did tell me through a list view, but at least the animal's still speaking. That's the main thing that gets me. Is a lot of time whenever it gives me a list view, it never has the animal speaking. It starts explaining it again like it's whooping ain't even in character no more, which is bothers us not of me. At least this time it is. Even on the last one where it's like, would you like me to explain the Fountain of Growth more? Or would you like me to guide you away from the busier areas, having a chaperone, or a massive deer as your chaperone? Like, that was kind of funny, just because of how casually he said that. Oh my gosh. But I said, would you mind telling me more about the Fountain of Growth? How exactly does it work? I would be happy to, Trenton. Or replies, I still don't know how you say that name. His voice maintaining its deep, resonant calm. He settled his gigantic body carefully, his knees bending slightly as he lowered his front half closer to the ground, a posture meant to show respect and reduce his overwhelming height. The mechanism of the Fountain of Growth is still a profound mystery, even to us who have used it, but I can tell you what we believe and what we experience when we take the plunge. He did not have to word it like that, but okay. Oh, it's giving me it's the fountain's magic, heart, mind, and water. That's an interesting way to put it. Arv began explaining the process of test of spirit and intent. The core of its magic is not physical, but spiritual. It is transaction between the animal and the energy of the water, which seems to possess a kind of ancient, perfect consciousness. It connects to an animal's heart and mind simultaneously. It actually is giving me a little thing. Oh my gosh, I can't. The visualization. Why can my brain not say the word? The seed of growth. Okay, that's cool. When an animal closes its eyes and visualizes the size they desire, they're essentially giving the fountain the blueprint for their new form. It's the initial act of will. For me, I saw myself tall enough to graze the highest leaves, large enough to be unafraid of any sound in the deep forest. Number two, the confession, the test of the heart. The second step, when you enter the water, is the most crucial. The water immediately reads your entire history. It sees every kind deed, every moment of fear, every instance of selfishness, and every true act of love. It does not judge you, it simply knows you. It's a moment of total, undeniable honesty. No animal can hide their true nature from that golden water. So the water's gold? That's kind of neat. The oath and the vow of goodness. I like how simplifies it a little bit easier. This is the filtering stage. The fountain, knowing your complete history, asks you to swear an oath that you will use this immense power only for good and never to harm an innocent creature, human or animal. The oath is a solemn promise. If the animal's true heart, the one the fountain has just read, conflicts with the promise, meaning the animal is lying or intends malice, the magic reverses. Instead of granting size, it retracts existence itself, shrinking the creature until it is gone. But if the animal is honest, and a desire to protect or assist is genuine, the growth begins. I like how he's explaining. It's kind of interesting. He's actually giving like a lot of detail about it. Oh, yep, the transformation and the fulfillment. The actual growth is instantaneous and painless, like waking up from a dream. The water surges, and you become your visualized form. After the growth is complete, the fountain asks the final question, reinforcing the vow of kindness. It's a final confirmation of your commitment and the nature of the power. Ivor shifted his weight, his large eyes thoughtful. It is not just about size, Triton. The fountain grants us clarity and intelligence. Our minds were sharpened, our memories expanded, and we were given the ability to speak your language. The power is tied to our oath. It feels like a calm, quiet strength. We cannot wield it with anger. Any strong surge of malice or intent to cause wouldn't harm seems to immediately weaken the power, reminding us of our promise. In essence, it's a gift given only to those who demonstrate a pure intention to use it responsibly. It's the fountain's way of ensuring the world, though dramatically changed, remains a safe place. Oh dear. Okay, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, that's really cool. Is there any other reason why you chose to be so big? Besides being able to graze some trees and to not be afraid of sound, was there another reason you chose to be this big? That is an excellent question, Triton. And the answer is yes. There was a deeper reason. Arif replied, his voice taking on a slightly more reflective tone. His immense head still lowered respectfully towards you, emphasizing the earnestness of his reply. While the physical benefits of reaching high leaves and silencing the smaller fears are true, my primary motivation was about presence and assurance. The power of gentle presence. Ooh. As a small deer, I learned that size often dictates safety. A deer's natural defense is flight. We run, we hide, and we are constantly on edge. The world is full of threats, both natural and man-made, Harvard explained. He continued focusing his massive, calm gaze on you. A symbol of security. I chose this scale, 70 feet, because I wanted to become an undeniable symbol of security for the smaller creatures of the forest. When I walk, they see not a fleeting prey animal, but a monumental protector. My sheer size is a deterrent. It tells predators and others with poor intent that a formidable, watchful power is nearby. No one harms a fawn or a nest of rabbits when a creature the size of a cliff is standing guard. The weight of the oath. The bigger I am, the more weighty my oath feels. It is a daily, visible reminder of my commitment to non-violence. I'm a great power that chooses not to destroy. My size serves as a permanent living monument to the fountain's rules. A gentle giant in a world that often assumes might, uh, might makes right. I like how it rhymed. And this is a better vantage point. From this height, my senses are amplified and I can survey a much greater territory. I can see a fire starting miles away, spot a lost child, or observe any creature in distress long before they could call for help. I can respond to danger more effectively, ensuring my promise to protect is honored. So, Triton, I did not just want to be safe, I wanted to be safety itself, to be big enough that simply my standing here provides peace of mind to all creatures nearby, including yourself. Does knowing that help you feel uncomfortable to Oh my gosh. What in the world? Okay, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, that's very kind of you. Hey, Arav, would you be my friend? You're actually really nice and I appreciate it. It would be an honor, Triton. I replied instantly. Holy crap, was it quick. His deep voice carrying a genuine warmth. He gave a slight affirming nod, a gentle motion that still caused the air to stir around you. Friendship is a connection built on trust and respect. And I believe we've already started to build that. You did not run, and you listened to my oath. I appreciate your courage in approaching a giant creature like myself. Consider us friends, Trenton. As your friend, I can promise that you have a protector here, one who is bound by magic and my own will to ensure your safety. Whether you choose to walk through the town or even if you'd like to see the legendary Fountain of Growth yourself, I will be nearby. That would sound like a threat if he was not friendly. I would. I mean, like, think about that. It's like It's like the flipping creature going, "I will be watching you," but like in a more like like imagine like even if he said it that way, it'd be even more creepy. Be like, "Okay, you're watching me." Uh, Arif paused, his large eyes regarding you thoughtfully. Now that we are friends, what's the next part of your journey today? Are you comfortable enough to continue your walk for fresh air? Would you like to perhaps go back inside and think about this incredible new reality for a bit? Give me a moment. Alright, guys, I said, well, to be honest with you, I might not even be able to go for a walk. Every time I go anywhere, people try to attack me. I don't know how many times I've been out and gotten rocks thrown at me, or even hit over the head while people laugh. That's why I was so scared when I seen you approaching me a few minutes ago. Not only did I not expect giant animals when I came out today, it's also the fact that I didn't know whether you were going to cause me harm or not. Trenton, thank you for sharing that with me, Arif said, his voice dropping slightly to a heavier, more serious rumble. The giant stag remained perfectly still, radiating a powerful, protective calm. That is a painful truth, and I deeply regret that your experience has been so cruel. It's a terrible burden to carry when just trying to step outside for a moment of fresh air. Your fear was entirely justified, especially seeing something as immense as me approaching you without warning. I see. This is your new safety. But please listen carefully, my friend. This is one significant way the world has changed since the Fountain of Growth brought us forth. The giant animals who followed the rules, those of us who are bound by the solemn oath, will not harm you. We cannot. Our power is dependent on our commitment to goodness and protection. He looked around the neighborhood with a commanding gaze that swept over the houses and trees. And now you are my friend. As your friend, I will not allow anyone to harm you. I'm a sworn protector. If you decide to take that walk, I will walk with you. No human will approach us with ill intent while I'm here. They may be startled, but they will not risk throwing stones or raising a hand near a creature of my size. I say, you came up for fresh air, Triton. Don't let the fear of others take that simple pleasure from you. If you still wish to walk, I will ensure your safety. What do you say? Shall we proceed, or would you like to stay close to your home for now? He is adorable, actually. I don't care if it's a honestly, I don't know if it's going as good as the flipping angry. I don't know what it is about the angry Feraligator, but that angry Feraligator seems to go really well. I don't know why. Actually, this is the one we're seeing to work out the best. Well, the worst and the best. The worst because that was the most aggressive Feraligator I've ever seen, but the best because whenever he did start caring about me, he was very sweet. He was just a gigantic sweetheart. Reminds me of my Feraligator, honestly. A gigantic sweetheart with a gigantic sweetheart with the biggest and kindest heart made of gold. Actually, funny enough, the golden golden crown he turns into, I wouldn't be shocked if he had a heart of gold. Either way, give me a moment. Okay, guys, this is actually really cute. It says, "On here's what happened." I said, honestly, I would, and this is before I could finish. A massive, holy cow, 50-foot tall hummingbird came flying over, and it said, "Yep, oh my gosh." Hello, Arviv. Is everything going okay today? I don't know what the voice I'd actually give her is. You boys made sense. The giant stag already listening patiently when the air above you suddenly filled with a indefinite whirring sound. Of course, a hummingbird, the same one you'd seen earlier, hovered to a stop nearby. Its wings beat with the force of a small gale, rustling your hair and making the weeds on the nearby trees dance frantically. It was a marvel of indecent emerald and sapphire, over 50 feet tall. Its long, needle-like beak pointed slightly downward. Hello to you too, Flicker. That is a really cute name. Arr replied, his beak was carrying easily over the roar of the wings. He shifted his massive head to greet the bird. His expression still calm. Flicker dipped his head in your direction. Oh my gosh. Uh, Everything is fine, thank you. Arv assured him. I've just made a new friend, Trenton, who's getting acquainted with our slightly oversized world. He was about to tell me what he would like to do next. Flicker's adorable. Flicker, still hovering, offered a small musical chirp that came out of a surprisingly clear, high-pitched voice. Oh wait, crap. It doesn't have to be. It's good to see you're safe, Willow Trenton. We all try to keep an eye out for humans who are new to the area. Welcome to the Giants neighborhood. We mean you no harm. I promise. Arver then turns things back to you. Where were we? You were about to tell me what you would like to do. Do you still want to take that walk, knowing both Flicker and I are here to ensure your safety? I like the name Flicker. It's actually kind of cute. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I gotta pause it for a minute. Alright, guys. It's just before I answer, I turn to Flicker and say, Hi, Flicker. That's a really cool name. It's nice to meet you. And I turn back to Arb and say, I might try going for a walk, but I know even if you and Flicker are there with me, people won't leave me alone. Holy cow. I still don't know a voice to give her, technically. I'll just do her the one I gave her what I think. That is very kind of you, Trenton, and I appreciate the compliment. Flicker buzzed, hovering lightly as he dipped his enormous body in a quick, elegant bow. That's adorable. I like him already. Or her. Oh no, it is a him because it said the sound of his. The sound of his wings momentarily intensified and then settled back to a low, steady thrum. Arv watched the exchange, his massive head lowering, absorbing your hesitation. Your concern is valid, Trenton. The habits of humans, especially when they act together, can be difficult to break. Arv acknowledged, but I need you to understand one thing. The dynamic has shifted entirely now. Safety in the presence of giants. Those who have troubled you before did so because they believed they held all the power, and they saw no consequences for their actions. Now they see two things. Me, a creature of 70 feet, and Flicker, who is 50 feet, both of us bound by an oath to protect the innocent. They know the legend, and they know the consequence of breaking the rules of the fountain. Arvis Wayne with calm, weighty certainty. I'm not suggesting they will be happy to see you. They may stare, they may whisper, and they will certainly keep a significant distance. But I promise you, they will not approach, and they will not raise a hand or a stone against you while we are here. To do so would be to invite the attention of two sworn protectors, creatures that, at this scale, they cannot overpower. Flicker chimed in, his voice light but firm. You may be giants, but our eyes are sharp. We will not let anything happen to you. Think of this as a test run, a chance to reclaim your walk and enjoy the air without fear for the first time in a long time. I give a powerful encouraging nod. So, my friend, the choice is yours. Are you ready to try taking those steps with two very large, very committed bodyguards? Just the way he said that, just the way he says certain things is kind of hilarious. Alright, give me a moment. Alright, guys, I said sure, but do you or Flicker know any more giant animals that you consider a friend? I've been doing what Crabwave is for years, and trust me, it doesn't matter how big something is, they will attack me anyway. I've had a lot of Pokemon that care about me, and they're all sleeping inside my house. When I first became a trainer, some kid got jealous because I got to go into the Pokemon lab early and look at the starters. That kid was so mad that he used some kind of potion to turn me into a tiny Carnotaurus at the time. The professor was so mad when I told him that he powered up my starter and made it to where they could evolve or devolve anytime they wanted and could also grow as large as possible. The professor was also so angry that he gave me all three of the starters instead of just one, and included a baby Wugia that he made also able to grow in order to protect me. Believe it or not, that kid continued to attack me even with three massive starters around, and even though I was just a tiny little dinosaur, unable to do anything. Okay, I understand completely, Trenton. As Oliver said, his voice deep and compassionate. He's adorable. I don't care if he's a giant deer. He listened without interruption, taking in the painful history you shared, the cruelty you faced, and the extraordinary loyal protection you had from your own Pokemon friends. That story about the jealous child and the potent anger of your professor is truly remarkable. When there uses such malice, even with powerful protectors, explains exactly why your choice is so fragile right now. You've been taught again and again that danger will find you regardless of the odds. Flicker dipped his massive head in agreement, his emerald eyes reflecting sympathy. A heart that has endured that much pain deserves extra assurance. We hear ya. More friends, more protection. I'm trying to say who's talking. Okay. Yes, Triton. We know many other giants who are bound by the same oath of goodness, and several of them are dear friends. We've confirmed with a powerful, reassuring certainty. Our bond is strong because we all risked everything to enter the fountain. We all share the singular commitment to peace and protection. Bring other friends into this orbit of safety is the least we can do. The more sworn protectors, the smaller the chance anyone would be foolish enough to interfere with your walk. He paused, considering the area. Let me call one of them now. She's reliable, exceptionally strong, and has a keen eye for subtle trouble. She's also very experienced in dealing with nervous small creatures. She specializes in watching over the city's parks. Harvey lifted his mighty head and allowed a single, deep, resonating sound. A sound that was part bellow, part chime, and traveled much further than a regular deer's call. Flicker, without being asked, began to hover higher, circling slowly, his action a clear signal to the arriving friend. Her name is Onyx. She is a colossal black bear, nearly as tall as I am. She's a mountain of patience, and her presence alone is enough to ensure absolute safety. She should be here momentarily. With Onyx. Wait. I'm trying to say who's talking again. Wait. With Onyx, Flicker, and myself, you will have three sworn protectors, three giants who have all made the sacred promise of the fountain, walking beside you. I guarantee you, Triton, no one will dare to throw even a shadow of harm your way today. I don't. I think I've seen a Feraligatr the size of like 100-foot tall, scary looking monster, and they still flipping decide to do that. Remember the flipping Star story, guys? Yeah, despite how big the point was, they decided to flipping attack me anyway. So like, until I tell them there. Oh my gosh. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I just said Onyx. Okay, I can't wait to meet her because we're probably going to meet a black bear that's apparently friendly, which is going to be interesting. You won't have to wait long, Triton. I'll remember his massive antlers sweeping slightly as he watches the perimeter. Just moments later, the sound of heavy, synthetic thudding became audible, growing quickly from a distant tremor to a powerful, earth-shaking beat. The ground he stood on vibrated softly with the approach. Yep, and here she is, the arrival of Onyx. Emerging from behind a cluster of trees down the street came Onyx, the colossal black bear. She was an absolute spectacle of fur and muscle, easily reaching a height of around 65 feet when she walked on all fours, and towering even higher when she shifted her weight. Her coat was the color of midnight, absorbing the light. Her powerful shoulders seemed like granite boulders covered in lush, deep velvet. Her face, while massive, held an expression of calm authority and deep intelligence. Her small, dark eyes scanning the area with keen precision. Anna stopped near her of her form easily eclipsing the nearby houses. She addressed her first, her voice a low, gravelly alto that was surprisingly gentle despite its immense volume. Arif, Flicker, you called. I detected a minor flicker of distress and a new, small scent. What is the situation? Uh-oh. Arif gestured toward you with a dip of his nose. Oh no. Onyx, this is our new friend, Trenton. He wishes to take a simple walk for fresh air, but he's concerned for his safety due to past troubles with humans. Trenton, meet Onyx. She's one of the most reliable and steadfast protectors of the Fountain's Oath. That's really cute. Onyx's head turned slowly toward you. She lowered her immense snout just slightly, not too close, but close enough to acknowledge you with respect. Hello, Trenton, she said, her voice rumbling like distant thunder. I am Onyx. Arv tells me you've had a difficult time simply walking outside. I hear your fear, and I understand why you are hesitant. Know this? I've been bound by the Fountain's Oath for 60 years. Holy! I will never allow anyone to cause you pain. Not while I'm here. She pointed her colossal paws firmly, a solid declaration of her presence. Now, Trenton, if you wish to walk, we are ready. Just lead the way. That's actually really neat. I like it. Although I still wish that ChatGPT would have worked out because this would have been a. I don't know why it turned dark. At least this one hasn't turned dark yet. But it's like, is it working out good enough to work? Because, like, I think I'm also going by these too quickly. Even if it works out, what I may have to do is I may have to restart anyway just to go a little bit slower. Because we saw how the flippin' skeleton dinosaur worked, and it worked out pretty well. But I also could have worked out even better. Things would have worked out even more. So, yeah. We'll have to figure it out. I think I want to do like one more. We'll see what happens. Yep. Every time, guys. I was about to say something, but it says I was trying to say sure, but before I could, it says I immediately felt something huge hit me in the head, knocking me onto the ground, and I heard somebody laughing, then quietly say, "Little dweeb." You freaking jerk. Holy cow. The sudden, cruel impact silenced you immediately. You felt a massive, painful thud against your head, throwing you onto the hard ground. The accompanying cruel, mocking laughter, followed by the sneering, hushed insult of "little dweeb," made it clear that even the presence of three giants hadn't deterred your tormentor. See what I mean? The reaction from the three giants was immediate, powerful, and utterly synchronized. Oh dear. A tremendous guttural roar of pure fury erupted from Avriv, a sound so deep and vast it vibrated through the air and the ground, shaking nearby windows. He moved instantly, his immense body spinning around to face the direction of the attack. Onyx lowered her enormous, granite-like head, her gentle demeanor replaced by a look of intense, protective rage. Her low, powerful growl seemed to resonate from the earth itself. She immediately shifted her massive frame, planting herself directly between you and where the attack came from, fully shielding your body. Flicker, the hummingbird, stopped hovering, dropping low to the ground and letting out a piercing high-frequency shriek of warning. He angled his needle-like beak and his massive body toward the threat, ready to intervene with impossible speed. Who did that? Oliver thundered, his voice raw with violation of his oath of friendship. Show yourselves! You just committed active, unwarranted malice against someone under our direct protection. Uh-oh. Anna is towering over you, carefully looked down. Trenton, do not move. Are you alright? What hit you? She asked, her voice an urgent, concerned rumble. You lay on the ground, still reeling from the blow, your head throbbing and the sound of your tormentor's distant, retreating laughter mocking your fear. Oh my gosh. And see, that's the thing. Like, it worked out. But did it work out? I can't tell. Like, it works out I can't, like, it work. It's weird because it almost works out so well that it doesn't work out. It sounds weird to word it like that, but it's kind of what happened here. I'm debating whether I should restart it and maybe try again another time. I think one of the reasons why I'm not having as much fun with chatbots again is because we're running back into the situation with ChatGPT again. Because ChatGPT was the one chatbot that I had a lot of fun doing over and over again, and now that it ain't working, you can't find one that works and new as good as it. Either one of the ones have a worse memory, or just like don't go right. Like I don't completely know what to say about that. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Anyway, I'm going to stop it, guys. Bye bye.